Right, here we are, guys. We're in the passage. So I would say with any job that you do, it's all in the preparation, guys. If you prepare as best to your ability or best you can, you'll get as best job as you can get, because a lot of people don't know what sandpaper is, and believe me, as you're walking up this passage, if you've got any little bobbles in the paper, it'll show. And you might be wondering what these lines are. It's something that I've always done, because when you butt the paper up, because it's going to fall in between the middle there, if you say you're butting it up on that colour, a grey, and it shrinks slightly or it's just not butted up properly, it'll show through. So this just gives it a chance. It just hides them little things, them little defects. So that's a little trick, guys. And I would say on the stairwell, you always start with the longest length first and then you work backwards. But I was always taught, when you walk into a room, you work from the furthest corner and you work this way. You always work towards the door that you walk into a room. But obviously with this, I can't. I'll have to start here. And the reason for it is because when you hang the first length, say if you walk into a bedroom, you hang the first length. When you hang the next one, if it does overlap, you won't see it. And so you carry on, and it might be overlapping a little bit. It shouldn't do, but some papers are a nightmare and they stretch, and you have to do it. You won't see it. So as you're walking up the stairs or as you're walking into a room, you won't see it. But if you walk into the furthest corner of that room and you turn around to the door that you've walked in, if it's a bad paper, then you will see like the paper hung, like you'll see each individual length. So the way of getting around that is to do it while you walk into the room. You pick the furthest corner and you work from that way, and then you work this way, all the way back to the door. And you might disagree with that, and in some cases you can't, because you've got things in the room that you have to work around. And sometimes if you have to lose the pattern, like you can lose it behind the door, there might just be a little gap, or behind a curtain or behind the chimney breast, somewhere where you can't see it. Like sometimes it throws up these problems. And yeah, and so if you think about these things, if you just do as much as you can to make the job easier. It's like if you pick a paper here and it's got a really bold pattern on it, really bold, and like the ceiling's out really bad, then you're going to see that pattern and it starts to disappear, or because it's so bad. So what you do, you try the best that you can, try and tell the customer to get something that's a little bit busy. You understand what I'm saying? Because if it's got a lot going on, then you can't see the pattern. Like let's just say you picked like a speckly paper, say, and you stuck that out, like you'd never see it all kind of like disappear in the pattern, because it's all like one kind of paper. So you've got to just think of things like that, guys. But sometimes you ain't got a choice. The customer buys the paper and you have to work with what you got, and then that's when they go, God, look at that, that looks bad. But there's nothing you can do other than do what I said. It's just plan ahead. But I've rubbed this all down, done my lines. When this is gone dry, I'll go back over it with a sander, give it a little slight rub, then I'll SBR it, because this has got like a semi-sheen to it. You don't want paper going onto this because it could peel away the edges. And then I'll size the walls, which means just wallpaper paste. I knock a bit of wallpaper paste, and then I'll just go over it, all of it, and I'll just give it a quick coat of that, let that go off, and then away we go. We start hanging all the wallpaper. And yeah. But I'm using a satin wood on the wood, which I don't like. It's been a bit of a nightmare. It's like treacle. And saying that it's bad, I'm going to contradict myself here, but it's quite a good paint, but it's hard to work with, because it takes 6 hours to dry and it's hard to apply. And some of the paints that you can get now, like the water-based ones, are so easy to use, but are they as good in the long run? Like, will they be as durable? There's an argument there. People swear by them, and other people are still clinging to the oil-based paints, which this one is. And I suppose another minus to using a satin wood is are they yellow? they yellow quicker than like a water-based one. Like they stay whiter like a lot longer. And weirdly enough, if the sunlight's on it, that's what happens. Like the sunlight hits the wood, and it brings out the white pigments. And this is a dark room, so it's got every chance of going yellow quicker, if you know what I mean, because there's no sunlight in here. Didn't really think of that, but there's nothing I can do. She got the paint and that was that. It's little things like that, guys. But all this is done now. The bedrooms are done. I'll quickly show you in here what it's like. It's all done. It's always nice when the carpet goes down and all the little finishing touches. I don't know if you remember, I was saying about this problem with this this return on these windows. So what I've done, I've literally just cut it straight down now. But this paper is like wrapping paper, you know, the stuff you use for Christmas presents. And as soon as you put like paste on it, it went to tissue paper. You couldn't even cut it. So I had to literally put it on and leave all the edges, or just put it on and cut it straight away. But this one, on every single one of these windows on the edges, I had to leave it. I had to put it on and then I folded back a little bit, yeah, and let that go dry. And then I put the paper back, put a straight edge, cut it, and then I repasted and then I pasted it back. It was the only way I could do it, because if you ain't cutting that straight away, because by the time I had to cut all round here and all down the bottom and at the top, I couldn't cut this edge. So that's what I did. I literally just bent it back a little bit, yeah, let it go dry again, then put my straight edge, cut it, and then I repasted it and it come out all right. Another little thing, if it helps you doing things like that, guys. Some papers you can work with and they stay like pliable and you can work with them for ages, but others are a nightmare, and that was a nightmare. But yeah, it looks all right. It's come out all right. The doors have come out all right. When I paint these doors, I don't know if how you paint doors, but you can roll them. You can just, I take all the stuff, all the door handles off and all the locks, the hinges. I take it because I can't stand having something new and then having paint over like hinges and door locks. I hate it. It's one of my pet hates. And but yeah, I normally just roll them and I get my brush in all the grooves and all the tops, and I roll it out, and then once I've done that, then I'll brush it out. And then I don't know if you're interested, but I always brush down with one stroke all the way along, taking care that I don't leave any thick edges down here, because this is where it will run. So as long as you're quick and you don't put too much on and you even it all out, and then what I do once it's all on, then I'll get my brush and I go from top to bottom all the way in one stroke, all the way along the whole door. And then my next thing is I finish off the bottom all the way along, and I finish off the top all the way along, and my last little bit is I finish off this all the way along there down to the bottom, and then I finish this all the way on, and that's it. That way it's kind of seamless and you won't get brush marks. Because if you look at this door, I don't know if you can see it, it's got like a grained effect. And if you do it like what I just said, once you've gone along here with your brush mark, and if you left it like that, you'd see brush marks, yeah? You'd see a brush mark. So you just make sure that you brush over there, and then when you finish it off, you brush up to there, and that's correct. So there's a little seam there, and there's a brush, like that's how the wood's finished. And that's how you do it. Let me know if that's interesting or not. Not be boring as anything. But yeah. And then on this now, we're rubbing these down. And if you think about it, this house was probably built in the 40s or 50s, and they did a good job really, because when they put this in, I mean, what would you say this were? What kind of style was this? It's a 70s house, I would say, 50s, 60s. I think it might be 40 years old, 50 years old. I don't know. It might be 60 years old if it's a 70s house. But yeah, they've obviously dowelled that screw in and filled it all in. But what they do, they didn't bloody rub it down. So there was a bloody bump on every single one of these. And you think back then, like, they never had no electrical sanders, did they? They did the best they could, but it's looks terrible. So once you put your sander on it, you get it all back nice, and yeah, hopefully that'll look a lot better than what it does. But yeah, these are horrible to paint because you're going to get smothered in paint when you try and paint these, but whatever. Whatever, Trevor. Oh yeah, and I wanted to say about a quick little note on the carpets, guys. Now they've come and laid this carpet, just as if you're interested, like the carpet fitters come and they charged £215 to lay 3 carpets, and they was here an hour. 2 people, 2 young lads. Which is, if you think about it, you think, well, that's a lot of money, but like to have 3 carpets laid, just the carpet, because there's a little bit of a story to this, because the carpet, she was going to have the underlay fitted, plus like these kicker rods, whatever you call them, like the door kicker rods, and she's got 9 of them. And when we started breaking down, like, because like they quoted for everything to lay the carpet, and then they quoted for the underlay and the kicker rods, and on a piece of paper it said £1,400 to lay the underlay and these kicker rods, 9 of them. And so what they was asking was £1,000 to lay the underlay. Now that's the whole house. We've still got a bedroom downstairs and the front room and the passage and the stairs. So there is quite a bit, which is fair enough. But what made me start to think, like, well, you know, that's a lot of money, was the kicker rods, because it had a quote like for that, what they was going to charge, like to put 9 of these down, 9, only 9, they wanted £400. Now I know for a fact that you can buy these for £8, which is probably $7 if you're in America, guys. So to lay, and it takes 10 minutes to put one of these in, if that. You know, you just get your angle grinder, you just have to be careful and just do a little bit of cutting. 6 screws, 3 either side, maybe 4 either side, whatever. It's nothing, 10 minutes to do it. So I actually do think I could have put 9 down in an hour, I reckon. Because I'm saying 10 minutes, it wasn't even that. So they wanted to charge £400. I mean, do the maths. Like, if you can pick these kicker rods up for £9 at 9, what's that? I can't even think. £81, isn't it? £81, and they wanted to charge £400. So now they're going to charge £310 to fit them in for an hour's work. So I said to her, don't do it, like, let me do that. And I said, while I'm at it, I'll stick the underlay down as well, because that seems like, to me, that seems like a lot of money. So we did the maths and we worked it out, how long it would take me, and then we went to a company, looked up the underlay. We got 7 rolls of it at $350. So literally we spent $350, like, let's just say £430, something like that, £430 for the underlay. We had to get some gripper rods because one of the bedrooms didn't have it, so I had to do that. And we got some spray, because when you put the underlay, you spray it and then it sticks, basically. It holds the underlay down. It's good stuff. So yeah, £430 rather than £1,400. So yeah, I think she had a little saving on that, and she was well happy with that. So she saved a little bit of money. But what a game to be in, eh? And I'm not knocking the carpet layers, because I think they did a good job, and to get like a carpet laid, 3 rooms, I think 200 quid's like fairly reasonable. But when they're so bloody quick, they literally got here, chatted for 10 minutes, what they wanted, this, that and the other. And I went back upstairs to, I don't know, not to check on them, because I'm up and down the stairs all the time. And they'd already laid one of the rooms in 10 minutes, literally. So quick. And I want to go back to the story of these carpet fitters, which was another red flag, because they were saying, what's got to happen? Like, you've got to clear the rooms. It's one of them things, isn't it? Like, which is understandable. They can go to jobs and the rooms could be absolutely caked in furniture. And they said the carpet fitters won't come in and move the furniture, like you have to move it. But if they have to move it, they're going to charge you £25 an item. So let's just say in each room there was 4, maybe 5 items in this big bedroom, 4 in one of the bedrooms, 4 in the other. That's That's 13 items at £25. Each item was £25. So you do the maths. It was a lot of money. So again, I said to her, don't pay that. You know what I mean? Don't pay it. And what we should have done right there and then is said, like, do you know what? Forget it. We'll go somewhere else, because everything seemed expensive. But she just wanted to get it done, so she went with it. And then I think they got the ump with her, because she started cancelling like them kind of things. Like she cancelled the underlay, the gripper rods. She cancelled all the moving of the objects. She said, no, I'll do that all myself. And then he ended up trying to sting her another 400 quid on top when he'd already agreed to do it. And then they worked out a price, and he got another 200 quid out of it, which I would have walked out. I'd have gone, nah, I'm not paying it. Because when you sit down and you do a deal and you know what you're paying, because he had all the measurements of the carpet, like he knew what he was doing. And I think he got the ump, because she kind of knocked the price in half, because by the time all the gripper rods, the underlay, the mover of the furniture, she probably knocked about £2,000 off. So yeah, it was a joke, eh? But I do understand, like, I suppose if you turned up as a carpet fitter, you've got to move everything. It's hard, isn't it? But, you know, they did it in an hour, 3 bedrooms, 2 fellas. And if you can do 2 or 3 of them a day, you're on £300-400 a day, ain't you? That's crazy, because you give them a little drink. Like, as you do, you always give them a drink, don't you? Keep them sweet, which means you give them a few quid. Keep them happy. But yeah, what do you think to that, guys? What would you do? Would you pay the money, or would you do it yourself? I even said to her, I'll lay the carpet myself. I've done a few carpets in my days, but I'm getting too old for it, but it does your knees in. And I probably could have saved her a few more quid there. I'm such a tight arse, aren't I, guys? Never mind.